Alrighty, this is a rise in elevation. This is a housing community, HOLT Boulevard. You know where HOLT and Vine Avenue are? This is the airport stalking, and this is pathetic stalking. 9 Uncle Indiana Yolanda 739 is stalking and monitoring my vagina. It's a sex offender, and if they're an immigrant, they're being deported. This is going to be prosecuted as mentally ill behavior, and they will be identified as the mentally ill population. Those are terrorists that are acting in sync with the government, that's getting in alignment with my person, under the fake sun, rising in elevation over a housing community, flying miles away from the airport. And this is what is so pathetic, stalking inside of the grocery store. Erica is working. Her name is on the receipt. It's a prosecution of David Quinones, all these so-called managers at this venue. This is a terrorist regime. As you're looking at what is nothing other than centering gang stalking, which is terrorism, around a business, an illegitimate business. It's a federal RICO case, and it's very highly unintelligent. This is a very clear-cut prosecution. This is the entity that's coming in and out of the Stater Brothers as well to engage in stalking. They're doing it under the fake sun that's still here at 4 p.m. This is already on the record. This isn't the sun. These are demons. All right, and that's the entity that's very much closely in line. Remember, they're not making a phone call and flying and driving at the same time. They're demon-possessed. The demon-possessed are going into mental institutions. All right, this is P.O.C. It is currently, let me get this license plate, because the entity is going to be subject, gang stalkers are going to be prosecuted with regard to their mental illness. VST 484C. Looks like a Baja Sinaloa license plate. Okay, this is the pattern of conduct, and Stater Brothers is being prosecuted for that. Okay, in the same way, Omnitrans bus drivers prosecuted. The city itself is being prosecuted. The employees inside of the library are being prosecuted. The people on the highways, gang stalking with light activity under the fake sun, are being prosecuted. While the mentally ill engage in more exposure regarding what they've been doing for decades, murdering people, these commercial airline companies are not going to exist. I'm prosecuting them, and you're witnessing their mental illness unraveling. This is a crash out, okay, to put it in the vernacular. Because I actually don't want to use that term. They actually engage in crashes while they are both seeking to kill themselves and other people. All right, when you're gang stalking, you're monitoring, you're not accidentally crashing into objects. All right, this is exposing what the entity is doing, and they're doing so internationally. Internationally, it's a threat, while commercial airline companies are engaging in terrorism, as I'm showing. This is the entity that's engaging in that. This is psychopathic pacing, okay? So this is P.O.C. That's a pattern of conduct, and that's exposing that population, okay? By the way, 7:14 a.m., the people of the state that you see inside of the grocery store, in the aisles, they are stalkers. They are indeed stalkers, and they're demonic ones. That's Alaska. Alaska Airlines maintains no flights that are going to hover over Stater Brothers. No flights from the airport are hovering over this property, in the same way that they're not hovering over the 200 North Euclid Avenue, El Bacone, the Mule Cart Smokehouse, the Ontario Town Square, the Ovid Family Community Library. And where they are hovering there and acting like they're taking off, they are west of that location, still engaging in what is a takeoff. Like you're rising, you're not coming from the airport, and everybody knows that. They're mentally ill. They are, in fact, mentally ill, and these are the demon-possessed that are highly unintelligent, okay? The only thing that is amazing about them is how deranged they are. License 40907 Robert 1, terrorists coming and participating in the pattern of conduct. And this is the entity, I want to be clear, that is pleading for what is intervention by the federal government. That's exactly what's happening. Companies that are engaging in the demonic pattern of conduct, that are exhibiting mental illness, as you are learning, it is exhibited by entities. It is exhibited by a population. They will be removed from existence. You don't maintain a constitutional right to keep a company that's corrupt, conspiring murder. All right, this is the entity that's doing so. This is the handiwork of Alan D. Wappner. He's no president authority. He's going to be prosecuted as a terrorist, a sex offender. Engaging in facilitation while the people of the state behind commercial airline companies are engaging in what is a program of psychological torture, criminal stalking, conspiring murder, criminal defamation. This is supposed to be that which is defaming somebody else. They really are mentally ill. They're going to be committed. They that are stalking in the planes, and they who are the people of the state in this environment sharing in that pattern of conduct. All right, there is no anonymity under the fake sun. This is what they do as a population, and it's highly unintelligent. And it's my pleasure to show you that, because while the mentally ill are exposed, they are exposed while they do so from city to city. All right, and if this is the airport in Ontario, why is Amazon Prime flying over my head in a commercial plane in Fontana? In Pomona, California, why is UPS hovering over me? Because they're not landing. Right, they're acting like they're taking off here. This is the entity that's engaging in that. They're short-sighted. They're vagina monitors. They don't maintain any sense of strategy. They are centering what they do in the moment. when they're triggered and engaging in what is reaction right now, whereas the pattern of conduct is speaking to the totality of circumstances, all of the facts and all of the evidence is going to be considered together, not in a vacuum. And that is the basis for having the mentally ill clearly identified for the public to see, and for them to be neutralized as the threat that they are clearly recognized as by company, by government, by population. This is P.O.C. That was psychopathic pacing by planes. That's what they're doing under the fake sun and an engineered light. It's psychopathic pacing. This is not, and it's not going to be over the Arrow Boulevard and Sierra Avenue intersection where psychopathic pacing by Michael Dorsey in the Fontana Police Department is underway, as I documented yesterday. And it remained there until after 6 p.m. when I exit the Fontana Lewis Library. And that's how an entity is exposing and prosecuting itself. Satan is inferior, okay? So Satan is only exposing himself. That's all that Satan has the authority to do, is serve my prosecutorial purposes and to inform you, the masses. All right, this is P.O.C. It is currently 7:17 a.m.